I am an alcoholic like no other. I was pushed into this hell by an event in my life. Prior to starting that shit show of my life, you can subscribe to this channel for much more interesting and suspenseful cheating stories by hitting the bell icon. It would be best to call my ex-cheater wife Hedda, 32 years old, and me, Alex, 40 years old. She was a widow and I was divorced. In my professional life, I was a neurologist. The first time we met was in a bookstore where Hedda was standing in a row behind me. During our wait, I noticed that she was holding a book in her hands that was my favorite, so that book became the topic of our conversation. After that, I have no idea how we became attached. As she told me about herself, I was saddened by the death of her husband, who just had been in an accident. Due to our similar interest, we became much closer because of that. Our interest in each other was sparked by the fact that we both were single. Upon getting physical, we began dating. After a period of time, Hedda and I decided to get married, but first she required that I sign a prenuptial agreement. She said that there was no need for a prenup, but it was about her security. She said she was just afraid because her late husband's company partners cheated me after my husband's death and did not give me anything from my husband's wealth. Even when I demanded my husband's part, they refused and showed me a piece of paper. In accordance with the document, everything belongs to them. There is no doubt that a fake document was prepared by them. In spite of this, I faced a lot of difficulties after that. There was no money left for me to pay for my rent, so this was the biggest reason why I wanted a prenuptial agreement. As she explained, she was just afraid of everything at the moment. She does not have a greed for money, nor does she have a self-centered attitude. The reason she wanted to secure herself was because she wanted to be able to protect herself. As a result of listening to all her facts, I agreed to sign a prenuptial agreement, which was fine with me. That was the biggest mistake I made because I had put my trust in her. It was because of her that I became fooled. Whatever the case may be, we did, however, managed to do that. Following the completion of the prenuptial agreement, we got married. Everything was like a dream come true from the very beginning. Since we shared the same likes and dislikes as I mentioned before, that was always what kept us attached and made us the best friends. Every aspect of life. It was an awesome first 2 years. However, after a period of 2 years, the situation started to become worse and worse with every passing day. The other day, Hedda told me that she was looking forward to going on a trip with a group of her friends. As she explained, they had planned a meetup tour for the Maldives and she wanted to come along with them and asked for money to cover her expenses. Nevertheless, I was able to provide her with the amount she requested. With her friends, she went to the Maldives for a vacation. There was no question about any of her friends that I asked her. Due to the fact that I did not even think that it was necessary, whenever she went out of the town, she always called me to let me know where she was. However, since she is now out of the continent, she has not contacted me to let me know about her health or anything else. When I called her, she said that she was busy now and without offering any kind words such as miss you or love you, she cut the call off without saying a word. Although it was a huge thing, I ignored her because I knew she was with her friends. I told her via messages to send her pictures, but she did not reply to me even though she saw the messages I sent. In the evening, as I was scrolling through the Instagram, I saw that she had posted pictures of herself with her friends. I found it very disturbing. I thought she did not have time to send me pictures and she was posting all her vacation pictures with long captions, and I thought she did not have time to do it. As I further scrolled down, I saw a picture of Hedda with a guy in it. As far as I was concerned, I thought they were too close to one another, like holding each other's hands and standing in a group picture in the corner of the photo. Moreover, Hedda was wearing a lot of revealing clothing, even she was with him. As far as I could tell, she did not ever wear such intimate bikinis, even when she was in our bedroom at night when she wore all this stuff openly there. As well as being confused by that, I was also hurt by it in a small way. When I called her immediately, a man answered the phone and we spoke for a few minutes. In shock, I asked him where my wife was. It is her phone that you can see here. According to him, she had forgotten her cell phone. After a while, he started talking about the trip they had taken. It wasn't something that I was interested in, but I listened to him because he said she really is an amazing woman and all about her after speaking with him. It turned out that he was the same guy who I had seen in the picture. It appeared from his talk that he was very close to Hedda from the way he spoke. Then obviously I got jealous and told him to return Hedda's cell phone to her as soon as possible. The fact that she forgot her cell phone made me think how irresponsible she was being. She had ignored me. At the same time though, I was unable to talk to her at the same time because whenever I called her, she would make excuses and cut the call off. The only thing left for me to do was wait for her to return. They returned after a period of 10 days. When I asked her why she was not talking to me while she was on the trip, she did not reply to me. Furthermore, I asked why did she forget her cell phone in the men's room of a hotel. According to her, it wasn't a big deal and she said she had been busy all the day. The resort offered a lot of activities such as scuba diving, water sport, skydiving, and so on. It also occurred to me to ask why she wore such revealing bikinis in the first place. It was then that she told me that how typical-minded I was, that these dresses are according to the occasions, and that in such a place where they were living on a beach for 10 continuous days, these dresses were the right choice. As you can imagine, I was quiet. Additionally, the tone of her voice had changed as well, as if she was angry or was in a bad mood. The day after that, she quit a number of household chores like making food and taking care of other responsibilities that women are supposed to take care of, as well as whenever I started a conversation with her. After getting up from the table, she went into another room and sat down. She stopped having sex with me. As a result of her attitude, I was unable to ask her. She was getting on my nerves. After working hard in the hospital all day, I needed someone who cared and talked to me. Relaxation was what I needed, but I wasn't getting it. To avoid her, I spent a lot more time in the hospital after that. According to me, it was a remedy. She may value me, but doing this for 2 weeks made me feel like she did not care about me at all. In her eyes, I was worthless. As a result, I decided to get in touch with her seriously. I was very bothered by what she was doing and what her attitude was. In order to clear my mind, during the period of time I spent in the hospital as a result of her acts, I was not even able to work properly because I was not mentally relaxed. Therefore, I will also be getting out of the hospital because I need some time to relax and settle all issues between me and Hedda that have arisen in the past. She was busy on her phone when I arrived home and sat near her. Although I sat there for 5 minutes, she did not notice me at all if I was not there. Even in an act of anger, I asked her what's going on. As I was asking her what the real problem was, she did not reply or talk to me about. I said, "You're my wife and I need you all the time, and you acted like if you're strangers." Eventually, I started hugging her and somehow I was able to calm her down. In addition, she admitted that she was not giving me the time that I needed. Apparently, the reason that I was going far away from her was that I was a doctor, and since I had to spend more than 14 hours of my working day in the hospital, she got fed up with me, and that's why we were moving far away from each other. It was a good feeling to hug her and tell her that everything was going to be okay from now on. Afterwards, I told her that I had some time off from the hospital and that we would go on a vacation together. Everything seemed to be fine now that I thought it was. As it turned out, it was just a calm before a storm. Nevertheless, we had a great time off on our vacation at a beach and everything went smoothly. As a loving wife, she started to act the same as she used to do before. Once I was very exhausted and after getting back home, I fell asleep. It was a very long shift in the hospital and I was very exhausted after it. Hedda was not in the bed when my eye opened in midnight and I couldn't find her. As she was in the washroom, she was talking to someone in a slight way. My first reaction was to go to the washroom and to listen to who she was talking to at that moment, as well as something that lifts the earth upside down for me when it is red. When she was speaking to someone, she sounded as if that person was angry with her. As she was explaining it to him, she said it would soon come to an end. there will be a divorce and the prenup amount will be paid out to her, so we will be able to live our lives as we wish and fulfill our wishes. It just takes a bit of time. Additionally, she was crying in order to make that person believe that she's telling the truth by crying. It was impossible for me to control myself, but I managed to get back to bed and act like I was asleep for a while. It was now clear to me that she was doing all this because she simply wanted me to pay the prenuptial amount, and I was being played by her. On the following day, I went to a lawyer, who was also my cousin, and discussed the whole situation with him. During our conversation, he told me that there is a way in which you can finish the prenuptial agreement and give her a divorce without having to pay any money. As a result of it, he advised me that I could file a case of fraud against her and show some evidence that indicates that she was cheating on me. Because of the fact that she was already cheating on me, I had an advantage over her. In addition, I was aware of the plan, so it was easy for me to keep an eye on her throughout the day. Furthermore, I also thought that I had spent a lot of time out of the house in the past. Therefore, I thought that it was quite possible that she had called her affair partner to arrange a meeting. As a result, I decided to install a few cameras in my house. I waited for the right moment to come along. After checking continuously the recording for 4 days, I was unable to find anything to the end of the 5th day. When I checked the recordings again, I found that they were having sex in my bedroom during the night. As soon as I took the recording, I gave it to the lawyer the following day so that he could make a good case for me. In the end, I was able to return home after that. With my own hands, I packed up her baggage and told her to leave and that I would see her in court the following day. Then she started asking me if I would like to divorce her and how much a prenup would cost. As I said yes in court, I am not able to respond to your question without consulting with my lawyer first. As a result, she has left. The case lasted for 4 months before I was able to win and not have to pay that bitch the prenuptial agreement. In my opinion, I'm damn sure that the story she tells about her late husband and his wealth would also be a lie.